Humans have always looked at the night sky with awe and wonder, and from time to time, greetings have flown from there. The Earth has received all sorts of gifts over millions of years. Now, we can send ships to the stars ourselves, but unlike celestial bodies, we do it according to a plan. However, packages from other planets come without notice. They fall like snow on the head. What to expect from stones rushing insanely through space? But we have collected them into an interesting movie, and now we will show you 15 of the most mysterious objects that have fallen from the heavens. With you as top facts, we wish you a pleasant viewing. How many meteorites have penetrated the Earth's atmosphere, and most of these visits remain unknown. We only see the traces of the largest of them on the surface of the land. This meteorite was captured by several cameras from different angles, and many British people had the chance to observe as a huge fiery ball explodes in the sky. Collision with the atmosphere causes the effect of a grandiose fireworks. So this is a real explosion, because when colliding with dense layers of air, friction causes ignition. Just like with matches, only much faster and on a larger scale, and already a massive fireball flies to Earth. From this explosion and burning, it breaks into pieces and lands in the form of large stone hail. Many people watched the impressive aerial show in amazement, and it is unlikely to be repeated for them ever again. Many even claim to have heard the sound of the explosion. It's no secret that meteors can be enormous and possess destructive power, and their collision with Earth can bring apocalyptic consequences, as already proven in the case of the dinosaurs. Maybe they spare us and land in some specially designated places. It's even scary to imagine what would happen if a huge meteorite falls on urban infrastructure or an industrial object. Let's knock on wood 3 times and not think about it. Let's instead look at a story filmed in Russia, in Chelyabinsk, where the landing of a meteorite was quite harsh. On the 15th of February, 2013, a huge asteroid, a superbolide with a diameter of 18 meters and weighing 11,000 tons, entered the Earth's atmosphere at a speed of about 18.6 kilometers per second. Naturally, no one could predict its landing site, and it made its magnificent way with a roar and a column of smoke, disturbing car alarms and causing some destructions. There were injuries, but thank God no one died. Fortunately, the meteor exploded in the atmosphere and did not collide with the Earth in its entirety. Even this solid piece that reached Chelyabinsk was incomparable with the original size. Although its power can be evidenced by such a calculation by scientists, it exploded with the same force as a nuclear missile, so the blast wave caused the main damage. Windows of buildings were blown out, and people were injured by shards and literally blinded by the explosion in the air. Honestly, I don't know how such huge meteorites can slip past our radars and whether there is any chance to prevent these invasions. Well, a movie about this was already made, Armageddon. During the quarantine in February 2021 in Gloucestershire County, surveillance cameras and local residents saw a fireball rushing through the sky crash in someone's garden. This asteroid broke into several pieces, and they were scattered around the area. But the largest piece was found and provided to scientists to study. It brought with it wonderful news. What they discovered was amazing, real magic. To begin with, its age was dated at 4.6 billion years. We can only imagine how far this asteroid must have traveled in the vast universe to end up in the United Kingdom. But thanks to this incredible landing, we can now talk about the origin of water on Earth. This ancient stone contains compounds corresponding to the formula of water on Earth. Thus, scientists have put forth the theory that water arrived on Earth as a result of asteroid bombardment. Perhaps this is one of the coolest discoveries that came from above. Naturally, water is a gift from the heavens and a blessing. Before we continue in the same vein, press the subscribe button and also the notification bell. And then you'll be incredibly lucky not to miss our new exciting compilations. Number 1. An independent researcher stumbled upon a very strange thing, a screaming headline in a Canadian newspaper dated 1908, which most have already forgotten, but that single incident is still awaiting explanations. A teenager was working in the garden when he was almost killed by an inexplicable object that fell from above right next to him. It was not just a meteorite that fell at a speed from a great height. Upon examination, it became clear that the stone was covered with alien hieroglyphs, and they were too clear to doubt. Definitely hieroglyphs, and definitely not from Earth. Was this stone an attempt to contact us? Perhaps some alien civilization needed to tell us something? Scientists have only established that none of the known types of Earth's writing matches these messages carved on the stone. To this day, deciphering the message has not been successful, and the secrets of extraterrestrial Vedas are still kept in the local museum. But the fact is, the stone exists, the hieroglyphs exist, but there is no such language on our planet. What is this alien obelisk that plunged into the ground on an Australian farm? It looks like a part of intricate space technology. Farmers, are not expert designers, and they could only guess what came to their sheep. People launch so many satellites into the sky. Who knows what happens to them in orbit? Sometimes they also send us greetings, a strange piece of material about 3 meters in size. In this case, turned out to be part of a SpaceX satellite launched just 20 months ago. Now you will be more tolerant of your auto service. Even parts fall off of spacecraft on the go. It's just luck that this piece landed in an empty place. This terrifying black object has just made an emergency landing from space, a very strange item resembling a large pointed gear. Judging by the trail on the ground, the object traveled at tremendous speeds and plunged into the soil like a knife. All this resembles either some part of a spacecraft or the ship itself of an unknown configuration. The mystery only gets hotter from this. It is definitely one of the most unusual, non-natural objects that have ever fallen from the sky, and it makes us think of aliens. Leave your comments. What do you think about this whimsical object? Could it belong to an alien fleet? And why did it make an emergency landing on Earth? If you hear something loudly crashing through the roof of your house, don't be afraid. If the roof is insured, you won't lose out. And what if it's a unique meteorite? Such a story happened to one Indonesian, and it was the most fortunate case in his fate. A gravedigger, living here, inspected the scene and found a meteor that had broken through the roof and buried itself in the ground. It was still warm to the touch. The man considered this a good omen for him and his family. But when he found out how much this piece of cosmic boulder was worth, he changed his mind about making it a talisman. This was a very rare type of meteorite, 4.5 billion years old. The amount it was valued at in the auction was equivalent to the Indonesian's salary for 30 years ahead. However, in the end, this person sold the meteor to a private collector for a colossal sum of $1,850,000, and the buyer now stores the stone in liquid nitrogen. We don't know where the former gravedigger keeps his money, but this 2.5 kilogram stone changed his life forever. Envious? The most amazing thing about meteorite falls is that these are not just stones. These are stones of unknown on Earth breeds. One absolutely astonishing type of metal that fell to Earth billions of years ago is known as gabion. This substance is completely new to us and cannot be found on our planet. There are more than 150 pieces of plates and other fragments of gabion meteorites, and they continue to mystify us. The largest piece was discovered by a farmer in Namibia on his field. Now the meteor, not the farmer, is on public display in a museum. Many believe that frequent meteor falls over millions of years played a role in the formation of the Earth's core. And indeed, this led to major changes on the planet, and also several times to the extinction of living organisms. But it's just fantastic to contemplate cosmic metal, an element that is not in the Mendeleev's table. They say it's also extraordinary to the touch. Would you like to touch such a plate with a unique pattern of triangles? It is very similar to the surface of uncut diamonds. And what if other planets are entirely covered with precious metals? Isn't it true gabion is magnificent? This unusual meteorite was discovered in China in the Gobi Desert and is undoubtedly a work of cosmic art. At first, it seemed like an ordinary meteorite, but when a slice was made, it turned out to be iron stone in nature, with drops of gold embedded in it. This creates a mosaic effect, and it also contains olivine, a rock-forming mineral named for the color of its sheen. This is the most beautiful wonder that has landed with us. Only 1% of meteors have such a unique composition, and this specimen, named Fukang, is simply astonishing. Essentially, it is priceless, but still, someone has assigned it a value of about $2 million. The meteorite split into several parts, and scientists also sawed off several samples and marked them. While the treasure is not sold, do you want to buy a piece? Again, Namibia. Again, a farmer and a field. Only this time, the largest piece of metal found having arrived from space. This meteorite is called Hoba, and it weighs more than 66 tons. A magnificent souvenir, right? It was found in the year 1920. A beautiful large piece of metal about 3 meters long and about 1 meter thick, just lying on the ground like a piece of chocolate. Its shape leads scientists to believe that it moved to Earth at a relatively slow speed and therefore is not deeply embedded and has maintained its integrity. The Hoba meteorite landed on Earth about 80,000 years ago. It consists of approximately 84% iron and 16% nickel. Some extravagant Americans once wanted to buy it, but due to its immense weight, transportation is hardly possible. So now it is a national monument and a popular tourist attraction. Everyone can go and see it for themselves. An absolutely mind-blowing story caught on camera. When you're about to make a parachute jump, it's already one of the most thrilling moments you can experience. But some get a bigger piece of the cake, literally. This man in free fall caught on camera a real meteorite, rushing to meet him so as not to land alone. Experts say that even if it was a prank, it was damn well organized. The chances of sharing the sky with a meteorite are slim, about 500 billion to 1. At that moment, surely the parachutist's entire life flashed before his eyes. And the most paradoxical thing is that the meteorite was only a few meters from him. They very fortunately missed each other. The Norwegian that day hit the jackpot of luck and won the coolest lottery in his life. And the stone has not yet been found. Falls from the sky are quite common, and here we are observing exactly that, falling objects. But what do the objects themselves observe during free fall? This amusing story happened with a GoPro camera that was attached to an airplane, but everything went wrong. It broke off in flight and made its own journey, spinning and continuing to shoot. Here we see the swirling chaos as the camera tumbles through the sky. In theory, this footage could have become the best advertising campaign. After all, the camera sturdily survived this flight. It could have, if not for the landing. This is not the finale that an advertising director would have planned. Very symbolically and absurdly, after falling from a height of almost 10,000 meters, the brand new GoPro model landed in a pigsty. And in the finale, it captured the snotty snouts of curious local pigs who were wondering if it might be a tasty snack. Wouldn't it be ironic if, falling from the heavens straight into the mud, it became a pig's lunch? But this is truly hilariously unreal, fortunately. A farmer found the camera and shared the footage on the internet. Entire worlds fall to Earth much more often than asteroids and meteorites, and they are full of life. What do you think we are talking about? Right, rain, such a common phenomenon, but are you sure that only water falls from the sky? What if we show you what raindrops look like under a microscope? They contain entire isolated worlds, fantastic microorganisms and creatures that live in complete isolation from the rest of our world. Modern microscopes have given us this new understanding. It turns out, our world is a collection of worlds within one planet, and nature hides many wonders in the most, it would seem, ordinary things. This is the sound you will hear when iguanas start falling from the sky. No, this is not a biblical prophecy, but a real case of unusual weather in Florida. The forecast warned locals about a cool down. No, an iguana tornado did not happen, but they really do not handle the cold well, although the reptiles themselves are cold-blooded. That's why they started falling from everywhere, from trees and roofs, onto roads and cars. Moreover, the cold does not kill them, but only immobilizes them for a while. As soon as it gets warmer, the lizards will come to their senses and return to life. Choose what's better, a meteorite flying past your parachute or an iguana slapping onto your head. Birds sometimes dive to the earth at tremendous speeds, but what made them behave as in this clip defies any understanding. It's some kind of madness. We have never seen such behavior in birds before. The entire flock, following the leader, decided to dive into the chimney of this house, creating a hellish surprise for the owners. The family, which returned several hours later, found there several hundred birds. They stopped counting at 800. To say they were shocked is an understatement. The birds filled the entire space and even settled in the new house for the night. This finally gave the homeowners a chance to put them in cardboard boxes and take them outside, to free the house from the nightmare. How unpleasant it must be to manually carry hundreds of birds out of your house, plus it's completely inadequate from nature's side and smells like a bad omen from Stephen King's books. I wonder if they put the house up for sale the next day. In 1994, the city of Oakville experienced an unprecedented rain that caused a lot of noise and problems. Over 3 weeks, the city suffered 6 times from jelly-like precipitation falling instead of rain, and it remains one of the unexplained mysteries, whether it's a natural phenomenon or human activity. Officials did not provide any information about this strange incident, but this only raised more suspicions. Those people who contacted the jellyfish-like drops in the city experienced flu-like symptoms and were ill for several weeks. Many dogs and cats died soon after contact with these clots. Testing showed that this jelly-like substance contained human leukocytes, white blood cells, and the cells of this jelly did not have nuclei. What is this? An explosion of a jellyfish colony? Joking aside, the military admitted that there was a bombing in the Pacific Ocean during this period. How to connect all the dots and find the nature of this strange jelly rain? What do you think? Is this the product of a secret laboratory or a natural phenomenon? All these frightening and unknown objects falling from the sky uninvited make us worry. Should we constantly look up and cover our backs? So friends, I think that's enough for today. If you liked the new episode of the Top Facts channel, and you want to see something similar or maybe the next part, then write comments. And do not forget to check out our previous episodes.